Hello, this is Dmitry, and today I wanted to talk about travel photography. Travel photography for somebody who's not a professional, but somebody who wants to take nice pictures while traveling. And with respect to cameras, today in the market you have plenty of choices, and the question is what to take with you when you travel, what format to use. So you can not only travel with the camera and take pictures, but you can also enjoy yourself while you're doing it. I have several cameras here, and I just came from central Mexico where I traveled for several days, and I enjoyed myself by using Micro Four Thirds cameras, and I wanted to talk to you about it. Now let's talk about different formats, and let's talk about benefits and detriments of using those cameras on vacations. Let's start with DSLRs. I have a couple of DSLRs here. I have a Canon 5D Mark III, which is a common DSLR for the last 5 or 6 years. The 5D Mark III is a reliable camera, a DSLR. Of course, one thing about 5D Mark III is its size. It's rather large, full-size DSLR. Something like this, if you go on vacation where you have to walk a lot, it gets tired after a while because the body is big, the lenses are big, and if you have to walk a lot, after a couple of hours you may not even enjoy yourself because it gets heavier and heavier and heavier. And if you travel not by yourself but with your husband or wife and kids, this large gear gets in your way. It gets in the way of your kids. You start swinging it and hitting things and people accidentally with it. It causes issues when traveling somewhere where you have to walk a lot, where you're far away from your base, where you have to walk up and down, hike for hours. So DSLRs such as 5D Mark III probably not the most ideal for me, at least, when going on vacation where I have to walk a lot. Same with smaller DSLR such as T7i here. It's a crop DSLR, but with 18 to 135 lens and other lenses, it's still somewhat larger and bulkier than I would have liked for it to be. Smaller than my Canon 5D Mark III, but still not small enough in my book for a vacation where you have to walk a lot. Now, going to mirrorless cameras, there are several choices. Sony, here I have the A7 Mark III. A7 Mark III is a fabulous camera. Image quality is amazing. I love it. However, it is still not very small. The lenses are large, even though the actual body is not that big, but the lenses, you're looking at 24 to 105 here. It's not that small. It's large, it's bulky. The 24 to 240, the ultra zoom, is even larger and heavier. So where I go on vacation to a place such as some beach Caribbean destination, which I did in January of this year, I did take my Sony A7R III. Well, the thing is, I have a base, I have a hotel, and I can leave it there, then I can go to the beach, and I don't have to go far and with it, and if I don't have to hike or walk up and down for hours, maybe A7R III would be a great camera to take. But just like DSLR, just like 5D Mark III, well, it's not as bad, but after a while it gets heavy. And in addition to be heavy, it also is bulky. The lenses are just large. The lenses are not that much smaller than DSLR lenses, and in some instances they're the same size or even larger. So if I have to walk a lot, I prefer something smaller. So in my case, on my last vacation to Central Mexico, I decided to do it with the Micro Four Thirds system. Why I decided to do it with Micro Four Thirds system? Primarily is the size. The cameras are small, the lenses are relatively small, and it's small and light, yet the picture quality is still decent enough. Not only is the picture quality decent enough, at the end of this video I will attach some photographs that I've taken, that I just took in Mexico, in Central Mexico last week. It's two cameras that I took with me are the Pan F and EM1 Mark II Olympus. Now those two cameras are 20 megapixel cameras, but in addition to 20 megapixel cameras, they also have a feature where you put this camera on a tripod, either one of them, press one button, and it takes 4 pictures and combines them in camera instantly in 80 megapixel file, raw file, 80 megapixel, and it's very easy. The Sony also has this feature, but the Sony A7R3, you cannot do it in camera. You have to take the images, put it in a Sony program, and then the Sony program will stitch them together. So it's one extra step, which with the Olympus Micro Four Thirds cameras I don't have to do. This does it in camera, and it's very, very easy. The only thing you need is a tripod. And by the way, because those cameras are so small and light, I can bring my small tripod, which I have a Manfrotto travel tripod, and it's small and light. Because those cameras are small and light, and it's easy. Just put them on your tripod, boom, remote control, and you got yourself 80 megapixel raw file, which you can crop all the way you want. And it's a great quality 80 megapixel raw file. So with Olympus, I thought it was going to be a good idea because of its size and because I can do 80 megapixel files when I want to. And they're small, and I can actually bring several lenses, and they don't weigh much. So in my case, what I did is I used a very small Tamrac Aria 6 case, which you can see. This is a small case. That's all I needed with me. As you can see, very small. And look, I take my EM1 Mark II with the Panasonic 14 to 140, which is 28 to 280 equivalent lens on it. I put it right here on one side of the bag. Then I take pen with 9 to 18, which is 18 to 35 equivalent. Ultra wide angle lens with a zoom, which is very convenient. And it is small. As you can see, it's pretty small. And this goes into the other side of my bag. Then in my central part of the bag, I put the Godox T350, also known as a flash point. Nice flash, full small but fully featured, high-speed sync, the whole thing. And also in the middle I put the 75 1.8 brilliant portrait lens, which I actually barely use. I actually could have left it at home. Then I also take my 15-1.7, which is my lens for night. When it gets dark, I switch whatever lenses I have on my camera to this 15-1.7, which is a 30mm equivalent. Look how small this lens is. And for portraits, 45-1.8, which is a 90mm equivalent portrait lens, which is tiny. Right here in my bag. And there's plenty of space still left here for the hoods, extra batteries, and remote controls. The remote controls, unfortunately, of course, Olympus could not, I don't know why, they couldn't use the same type of remote control for Pen F and EM1 Mark II, so I actually have to have two separate remote controls. But they're small. That's it. There's actually plenty of space here in my bag for more stuff, and I can put my iPod in there. This weighs absolutely nothing, and it's all I needed for my trip. 2 Micro Four Thirds cameras and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lenses and a flash in this small bag. Could I do the same thing with Sony? No. Could I do the same thing with my full frame Canon? No. With a crop Canon? No. The only other option I had was the Fuji, but I don't have any Fuji cameras at this particular point. But you could probably do it with the Fuji, with an exception of the fact that the Fuji Super Zoom, which is 18-135, is not as good optically as the Panasonic 14-140 second version of that lens. It's actually better optically than the Fuji 18-135. But Fuji is a nice system which I probably could have used, but in this particular case, 2 Olympus cameras, 5 lenses, flash, all in a small bag, and I walked with this bag for hours and I didn't even feel it. So now you can look at the resulting photographs. I'm gonna put it right here at the end of the video, and you can see the quality and you can write to me what you think. Will Sony give me better photographs? I'm sure, but would I enjoy myself as much walking for hours? I don't think so. So I'm very happy with my choice, and I highly recommend Micro Four Thirds system for travel. There are other choices, but for travel where you have to walk for long hours up and down without your base, just having to carry all that stuff, especially if you were somebody else, like your wife, your kids, this is, I think, perfect. Without further ado, I'm going to attach several photos from my trip that I took with those 2 cameras, and tell me if you think I made the right choice. Please subscribe to my channel, and I'll do more videos. I appreciate you watching, and I appreciate you subscribing. Thank you very much.